What's up, dudes? Yes! So things have been really busy. I've been working a ton, I've been drawing and designing, I've been writing a lot, and I've been doing a lot of thinking. There's so much stuff going on in my work life, in the world. It's got me feeling a little introspective lately. I've been spending a lot of time in my head, and I've been thinking about the X-Men. So stick with me on this one, okay? I want to tell you about my favorite X-Men. Can you guess who it is? You guessed it, it's Multiple Man. Yeah! Just kidding, it's Gambit. And the thing about Gambit is I don't really know a whole lot about him. But, okay, let me explain. So, I went to school to study comics, so I have a bunch of friends who also make comics, and a good majority of them got into reading comic books and creating comic books because of the X-Men. When I talk to them, I feel like the X-Men were just as big a part of my childhood as it were them. But then, once we start nerding out, it doesn't take long for them to realize I really don't know that much about the X-Men. So what happened was, when I was a little kid, there was no comic book shops around where I lived, and the only time I ever got the actual comic books was during the summer when my mom would take me to the grocery store and I would get to pick out one comic. My actual comic collecting as a kid was extremely limited. I never knew what was going on because I would just get one issue. If there was some story arc going, I would get like number 5 out of 20, and I just never had any idea what was going on. You know, I just never got to read the issue before or the issue after, so it was all a mess to me in my head. But what I did have access to was like a sports cards shop, like a collectible shop, and they would get boxes of X-Men cards. I just loved going to that shop and buying a pack of cards and peeling open, you know, fingers crossed that there was a foil Gambit card in there. And my favorite part about the X-Men cards was on the back they had a little biography with stats and just a little bit of backstory for each character. And for me, that was just enough. Pretty soon after the X-Men animated show came out, there was all these action figures. So I had my collection of cards, I started getting action figures, and okay, so something you might not know about me is that I am an only child, and while that comes with a ton of privilege and benefits and many wonderful things that you know, I get spoiled on, get to go and buy X-Men cards and X-Men action figures all the time. Being an only child is also kind of lonely, and you have to learn how to keep yourself occupied. And so when there wasn't Nintendo or cartoons or whatever, I spent all of my time creating stories for the X-Men. You know, I had just enough information from the back of these trading cards that I could take my collection of action figures and turn my room into a giant battleground. And really what I was doing was telling stories. You know, there was these epic battles with diverging storylines, and each battle would leave my room completely destroyed, but also changed forever. So, is Cyclops the leader of the X-Men? Sure, but not for long, because you know, yeah, he helped defeat Mr. Sinister, but then his powers got taken away when a fight broke out between Sabretooth and Wolverine, and Sabretooth injured Cyclops' eyes, and so then Storm is the new leader of the X-Men because I didn't have a Jean Grey action figure, and Wolverine felt so bad that he left the school, which was my Ghostbusters trading house, and he went to go live in the Snowy Mountains, also known as my bed. And this went on and on and on, and every day there would be a new battle, you know, characters would change, and at the center of it, Gambit was the coolest. I mean, come on. Gambit, he's got the cool hair, the trench coat, the bow staff. He's always making cool quips. He's got the kinetic energy and the cards. Now I gotta clean this up. He was the one, for some reason, that I connected to, and his backstory of being a thief, but also he's a good guy, just sparked my imagination the most. Awesome. loving the X-Men, it wasn't long before I started drawing my own comics, and I love to copy the artwork from the X-Men trading cards, but also wanted to have my own superhero team. So the very first comic I ever made was The Black Holes, and it was just like the X-Men, but it was me and my group of friends who all had our own set of superpowers. We had our own hideout, we argued amongst ourselves, and we fought against the school bullies who had indestructible armor and poisonous skin. Yeah! Yeah! I love to draw, I love to tell stories, and you know, maybe the X-Men aren't the entire reason, but they're what started it all for me. You know, so I still have no idea what happened in the Claremont run of the X-Men. And I know everyone tells me that Gambit isn't very cool, but you know, that's okay. He's still my favorite. And that's really what I've been thinking about, is how does one person love Wolverine and I love Gambit? And you know, some people have Magneto's worldview and some people have Professor X's. And you know, we're all different, we all come with a different set of expectations, and we all have things served up to us in different contexts, and this is gonna sound so dumb, but I believe it. So we're all mutants, we're all different, but we're all the same. I think it'd be really rad if we all came together and formed an awesome team of rad misfit mutants. I love that song. Okay. Alright, I'm not going any further with that. You guys get the idea. Don't be a Magneto. Alright dudes, I got lots of fun video ideas. I'm trying to do once a week, but it's a little slower than that, so please be patient with me, and just know that I'm gonna keep trying to make awesome stuff and share it with you. Let me know in the comments below who your favorite X-Men is, and maybe also what superpower you would want if you had a superpower. What superpower would I want? I think I'd want to be able to freeze time. Yeah, freeze time. Okay dudes, hope you have an awesome productive week, and I'll catch you later. Bye. Heart.